Okay, apparently we are live. Hello. We'll wait a couple of seconds to see if anybody else joins us.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna pull it up on my phone too, just to see. Not that I mean I can see the comments, but just
Oh, you can really see my fuse box, can't you?
oh yeah. If you hadn't have pointed it out, I wouldn't have seen it. How do I? What the heck am I doing? My team.
Oh, Kate's here. Hi, Kate.
Oh, hi, Kate. Yay. She was our other one.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I wouldn't have seen it. Oh, geez. Okay, you can hear me. All right, let's turn that down. I don't need my voice. All right. So let's see. It says we have 4 watching, so we'll see.
I know Berna was supposed to join. I
Oh
think
yeah,
Berna was going to join.
yeah,
Yeah.
she did say. Yeah, she commented that she would be there. So
I
hi,
don't
Kate.
know. Yeah. Hi, Kate. I'm glad you could join us. Your internet is up.
Been drinking my wine. This isn't gonna last the whole show.
Oh, we have inspiring words here
Yay!
from Cornwall. It's
Ooh,
her first time watching.
yay! Hi. Excited that you are here.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
I need to go to Cornwall. I miss traveling. I was in England, but I we didn't go to Cornwall. We were in London. I think that was it. No, we went to a couple other like surrounding villages, but that I don't think we went to Cornwall. That was years ago. I don't even know. I
I've
don't know.
never been to England, but that is like the first overseas place that I want to go.
Hmm.
England.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
actually I went there with a like a school trip, but I was like one of the chaperones
Oh, was
because
that
my
in college?
well no I was an adult. My friend who is no longer my friend, uh, he is a teacher at our local high school, and they have a or they did have a trip every year to a different foreign country with the different language departments. And
Oh,
that year they were going to Ireland, England, Wales, and Paris. Like Paris was like the optional part that you could do at the end, but the teacher was the French teacher, so she was actually from Paris. So we went to all of those countries, and we had I don't know like maybe like 15 teenagers, one male student, and my friend was the only other male teacher that
mm,
went. So guess who got saddled with this kid for the entire trip? Because
the
he was
male teacher.
yeah, and me because I was with the male teacher. Oh, and that kid, oh geez. I swear his parents just wanted to get rid of him for a couple of weeks. He was okay. So we were in Dublin, and all he wanted to do was find a McDonald's in. And I'm like, really? We are across the. We went across the ocean, and you want to go to
You
McDonald's?
want McDonald's?
I was like, no, I don't care. No, if you want to go to McDonald's, hang out with somebody else. I was like, I'm not getting paid for this. I paid for your. This is my trip. I'm not a teacher. I don't have to. I don't have to
Put up
do.
with this.
Yeah.
Berna's here. Hey, Berna.
Hi, Berna. Uh,
Yeah, the pharmacist I used to work for, she traveled everywhere. She and her husband went everywhere. And she did say that one of the things they did wherever they went was they tried the local McDonald's. I thought
oh,
that
okay.
was very weird because they were very like, very upscale, posh
Uh-huh.
kind of people. But
Oh.
everywhere they went, they would try McDonald's. That was very strange.
I will say, when I went to Hawaii with the same male friend and another friend of ours, we made sure we went to Hawaii because they had like their like big breakfast kind of thing had sticky rice and spam. So
Oh, wow.
so before we went, I think we were going to one of whichever volcano is on Maui. And I don't know why I can't remember it right now, but whichever one that was. Before we went on our hike, we went to McDonald's and filled up on spam and sticky rice. Like as if we were going to get, you know, stranded on the on the
Well,
vol-
you had a protein and carbs, or is it rice a carb?
Yeah, I guess so. A
You got
start.
your sustenance for your
Yeah,
hike.
yeah, yeah. So,
Whatever.
and I actually enjoyed spam more than I thought I would. But but I like kielbasa, which is basically
Uh-huh.
the same kind of deal. So I was like, that's fine. My one friend was like, ew, I can't believe you're eating that. I'm like, it's just like ham or like something else
Yeah,
processed.
I mean that really is what it's like, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
just like sausage, like
yeah,
weird shaped sausage.
yeah. It's just flat sausage.
A bunch of processed meats.
Yeah, it was fine. It was good. And put it with eggs and sticky rice. It's delightful.
It sounds good.
Sticky rice
Hi,
was a little
Berna.
in the morning, but let's see what's. I'm missing comments because I'm talking about
Yeah.
rice.
Spam. Hi, Debbie. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
inspiring
Yeah,
words.
this will be up.
Name is. I feel like I don't want to just keep calling you inspiring words, and I know that you've commented on my channel before, and I feel bad that I can't remember names. Hi, Debbie.
Yeah, this will be up on Rainy's channel, Debbie,
Yes.
so you can watch later.
Oh, yes. Hopefully, I can figure it out. I think it just does it automatically, but
So, Berna, how was the Turkish food in Europe?
oh yeah.
Yeah, Berna said, I had the same experience with a Turkish group in a tour when we went back to Europe. When we went to Europe, they searched for the Turkish restaurants. I don't know that I've ever eaten Turkish food.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I live in a small town that it doesn't have much in the way of like diverse
Yeah,
food.
big variety.
But
Yeah.
what's the
Surprisingly, here in Fort Worth, we don't have like a huge variety of, at least not that I know of. We might,
mhm,
but a
yeah.
lot of Mexican,
Oh yeah.
obviously Mexican.
Hmm. Which you're probably like, yeah, whatever.
Janie, inspiring words is Janie.
Okay. I don't know. I don't like if I can help it. I like to call people at least by their actual first names. And
Yeah.
when people's channel names don't have their first names in it, I'm like, oh no, I don't know what to call them. Let's see. And some people
So we
like,
did have a question. You want to go ahead and start with the question, Rainey?
oh yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So every month we have a romance question. Although I don't know if we had a question last month. I think we might have skipped that. We went straight from the talking into the
Yeah.
discussion.
I think we
But
did
this did we?
big tropes or something.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Favorite romance tropes. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. So
Mm.
this month's question is, do you already have any romance novels, romance books planned for 2021? Anything any romance books you're going to read for 2021?
And this is a double meaning question because we need recommendations for next year's book club picks. So,
Yeah, especially if you have anything across genres, that would be
oh yeah,
uh yeah, that would be nice to get some recommendations, some romance recommendations.
yeah,
Maybe paranormal,
oh yeah,
maybe what else is there? Fantasy.
oh yeah, oh fantasy. That's what we haven't
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, I'm not a big fantasy reader.
Yeah,
So
I used to be. but I don't know, for some reason, like the high fantasy stuff anymore, I don't read as much of. I think because I listen to a lot of audiobooks and I've found
Hmm.
that like, reading Brandon Sanderson or something like that on audiobook is just
Yeah.
like completely
Yeah,
because
fantasy is hard on audio. There are so many characters. I just like with we're reading The Alchemist's Daughter. You guys finished. I'm still reading it.
okay.
And yeah, it was hard to keep track even with those few characters. It
Hmm.
was hard to keep track of who was who.
Yeah. I feel like the further it went on, it was easier to figure it out uh,
Mhm.
in that book at least. But um, and well, I don't know. Are you listening to it on audiobook
I
or are you?
am. Yeah, I started reading it. I started reading the physical book,
Mhm,
but then I wasn't getting to it because I
mhm,
just didn't have a lot of time. So I figured I could read while trying to do something else, and it's not really working out because yeah, I just can't multitask,
okay.
yeah, I end up falling asleep.
Oh no.
Both times that I've tried listening to the audiobook, I just ended up falling asleep.
Okay.
So yeah, and I mean, there's just I'm trying to do something else at the same time. I'm sleepy, so it's just not. It's not a good. It wasn't a good idea to try to listen to the audiobook.
Yeah. Huh. Oh, here.
Oh,
Oh, I need to. I'm gonna open a note on my phone so that I can write down people's recommendations.
Kate House says Phyllis Whitney and Victoria Holt. They're romantic mysteries, and I have wanted to try Victoria Holt. I think is it Bree who talks a lot about both. I think both authors, right?
I well, she probably does, and I'm so bad with authors, but I have heard well because Kate and Bree read a lot of. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
that she reads them with Phyllis Whitney. I need to.
Oh, Berna says Outlander. Yeah, I read the
Yeah.
first Outlander book this year and I really liked it a lot. So I want to continue the series in 2021.
No, I haven't started that one yet. That one is another one. Well, that's a fantasy, right? Fantasy romance.
Yeah, it would be fantasy.
There isn't there like time travel and
Time
stuff.
travel, yeah. And
Yeah.
that one was one that I was on the fence about for a long time. I didn't want to read it because of the affair. I knew there was an
Mm,
extramarital affair and I don't I didn't want to cheer for that. It's not something that I wanted um, to root for. So I put it off for the longest time, and then I buddy read it with a couple of people, and I actually ended up really liking it. Yeah.
oh,
So I still feel bad
mm,
liking that extramarital affair,
right.
but I mean, I know a lot of people say, well, I mean, it's justified. It's like, yeah, I guess I understand, but I still feel wrong about it.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh, Lacey's here. Hey,
hi.
Lacey.
I just saw that too. Yay! Well, let's see. I've got the first three in the Girl Meets Duke series by Tessa Dare. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to read some Tessa Dare next year. I
Yeah,
don't,
we did.
yeah, because I don't think we haven't read any Tessa Dare here, right? And
No, not yet.
I don't think I've ever read any Tessa Dare.
I
I think
read the first book in, huh? What's that, Rainy?
I said I think because she's sexier. I'm like,
Yeah, see, she's definitely not closed door. And
okay.
I read her first book in the Spindle Cove series. I don't remember the name. And who was I talking to about this? Oh, I think I was talking with Chrissy from the Return Cart. I didn't care for the book
Okay.
because, and if you've heard me talk, you know that I'm not, and I want to say this the right way because I don't want to offend anybody and I don't want people to be turned away by what I say. Um, I'm not like the biggest, like pro, you know, I don't know how to say this. Okay, I like strong women, but
Uh-huh.
I don't
Oh,
mind. I don't mind reading weak women because I
right.
always say I'm a weak woman. I'm somebody who would need to be rescued. I'm a
Yeah.
weakling. I'm not resourceful. So I would be one of those women who'd be like, in a horror story or I'd be the one hiding and wanting the man to go out and do the killing and
Yeah. I
the
don't,
protecting because
right.
I don't want to do that. I don't have the skills to do
I
that.
don't.
So I don't
I,
mind reading about weak women because I am one.
necessarily think. I think that is a wrong assumption that women who need somebody else to protect them are not weak necessarily. They might be physically weak.
Right, right. Definitely.
Because
And so
I
see,
always
and
say the man should kill the bugs. That is a that's apparently a quote
definitely.
from Designing Women, the show from the like 80s or whatever. And
Hmm.
the man should kill the bugs. And I'm like,
He
uh-huh.
should, or at least catch them and release them.
Yeah, well, no, you just kill them.
So, so I don't mind reading about weaker women. I don't mind a strong woman either, but I like a variety. Now,
Right.
in that book by Tessa Dare, the
Mhm.
woman was so like so strong that it bordered on ridiculous.
Okay.
Like she was a soldier, she was a surgeon, she was an artist, she was a writer,
Mhm.
she was a mechanic, she was a blacksmith. She was, I mean, she did everything. It
Yeah.
just got to the point where I'm like, okay, I understand she's a strong woman. I understand this is, a new type of romance where it's more, feminist.
Hmm.
But does she really need to be a jack of all trades when
I feel
that
like,
borders on just
yeah.
what's that?
I feel like woman or man, nobody is like perfect at everything.
Right.
You know, everybody has their strengths, everybody has their weaknesses, and we don't need to like put it all like I don't need no man kind of thing. Like, I can I can lift off a car and you know,
Yeah, and I mean, you would think, right, Rainey, that being bitter single ladies, we
yeah.
would like that, right? That we would be like, I don't need a man, but
No, well, you
we're
know,
not man haters.
no, I don't know. I mean, maybe today I am, but it depends on the day whether I'm a man or not.
Depends on the interaction.
Yes, exactly. That's it. Once Janie said, believe me, every man I've known expected me to rehome the spiders, bugs, mice outside. What? Get rid of them. If they aren't willing to rehome the bugs, they are not worth your time. That's going to be, if I ever start dating again, and if I have to do the online thing, I'm going to be like, you cannot be afraid of spiders because I am, and I need you to help me.
I'm not afraid of spiders. I'm not afraid of most bugs.
Mm,
Um, and I let most of them live. Like if I have spiders in my house,
mhm.
for them, I let them live. I'm like, they're not hurting me. But the other day there was one crawling up behind the couch. I'm like, oh no, you got too close. Sorry, you got too close. So I had to smash it. Like,
Yeah.
stay in your corner, up there, wherever. That's
Mhm.
fine. But don't crawl up behind the couch because
Nope, I can't let them live. You're a better woman than me. Like you're you can live if you stay outside where you belong. But if you trespass on my property, I'm getting rid of you. I had a I think it was already dead, but I whenever I was dating my ex, I had a spider on the stairs in my basement, and I'm pretty sure it was dead, but I didn't really go down to investigate. And he was because I knew he was coming over, so he comes over. We were gonna go somewhere, and I was like, "Hey," and I'm giving him a hug, being all lovey-dovey, and I said, "Hey, before we go, I need you to do something for me." And he's like, what? I was like, there is a hopefully already dead spider on the stairs. I need you to dispose of it for me. And he kind of whined about it. I was like, hey, like, do you want to go home right now? Good. I don't think I'm asking you to do too much. It's already dead. All you got to do is pick it up. Oh,
so did
Amanda,
he do it?
he did eventually. He compared me to his mother at that point, who was also spiders. And I was like, okay, quit talking and just, pick up the spider. Like, you've been here 15 minutes. Do you want to have to leave after 20? He lived an hour away, so it was kind of one of those things like, do you really want to make me mad right after you get here? Let's see. I'm reading through comments. That's right, Lacey. I'm not afraid of bugs as long as they stay in their zone. And don't
Yeah,
get,
that's how I am.
gosh, if they got on me, I'd be doing an interesting dance.
No, the only ones that scare me are those big water bugs here in Texas. I'm
Yeah.
sure they're all over. I don't know. They're
Mhm.
those huge cockroaches.
Oh.
One time when we lived in an apartment complex, we had our balcony door open,
Mhm.
and these things fly. And one flew in, landed on my hair. Those things, those are the only thing that can make me scream. Like I cannot stand those things. No. And then they have, the big exhibit at, I think it was at Brookfield Zoo in Chicago. They have this in the insect house. They have this plexiglass thing just full of those huge cockroaches.
Oh, oh,
That is disgusting. Disgusting.
I won't even go. And
No.
the inside at our zoo at the Pittsburgh Zoo, they have like a reptile and bug room, and I'm like, no, we don't need to go there. I mean, I'm fine with snakes from a distance; they're fine. But anything else that I know is in that room, I have no interest in. Let's go look at the cuddly bears.
No, I'm not really. There isn't much that really. I don't have a phobia of
Yeah,
much except for. I mean, as far as animals or insects, except for those giant cockroaches. No,
yeah, yeah. Nope.
those I can't do.
Oh gosh. Oh, I don't even know what what is a spricket, Kate? Spricket? Is that right?
I've never heard of a spricket.
Never. You live kind of nearish me, and I've never heard of this thing. Is that a thing where you are like just moved to, Kate? Because I've never heard of that, and I don't think I want to look it up. Oh man.
Spricket.
Oh, Janie said that it is wet and horribly windy in Cornwall. It is wet and horribly windy in Pittsburgh right now too. It's not great. We had rain like a lot of rain this morning, and it's kind of, I don't know if it's still raining. I can't tell, but I got like one of those alerts that there would be thunderstorms. I'm like, oh no, I hope my internet doesn't go out. But hopefully.
No, it's very nice here today in my area. It was in the 80s yesterday and really humid, but today it's really beautiful. Very pretty.
Man, I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, that was rare, even for my part of Texas. It was rare to have an 80-degree
Mhm.
November. Maybe not super rare.
We actually had 70s and 75 like last week for a few days. And so we were like, oh, this is so nice.
Now that's rare in Pennsylvania, right? For November?
Oh, for November, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I would say the end of October, the first week maybe of November can be in the 50s, but I think it's in the 50s today, but that's even kind of rare. Like by now, although we have started not actually getting a lot of snow until the first of the year, and then like January, February, March, possibly April is when we get snow.
That's when you get snow?
Yeah. Yeah, December is hit or miss, but the past few years we haven't gotten a lot of snow in December.
Really?
Yeah.
In your part of Pennsylvania?
Mhm. Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, I mean, probably I think like Philadelphia area,
Yeah.
they get more. But yeah, in my area, I mean, we'll get some snow, but it hasn't been the really heavy, um, like hard to drive on roads. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but, oh, Christy's here. Oh, yay. Hi, Christy. I'm
Oh,
excited.
hi, Christy.
Yay! Oh, see, I just got a notification. Severe thunderstorm watch updated. Expires in 2 hours. Okay, well, it just needs to not come here.
So Kate said that a sprocket is a combo spider cricket.
Oh, God,
So,
that sounds horrible.
so a spider that hops.
Oh, oh, God, oh,
A hopping spider
oh, God, horrible.
that
Oh,
chirps.
gosh.
Is that your
Okay.
worst nightmare?
Oh my gosh, that's so bad. I'm getting the heebie-jeebies just talking about it. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to
So,
other.
Rainy, so what are you looking, what do you have your sights on in 2021? Which romance books?
Well, I don't know specifically, but I feel like I need to read some, maybe try out a Tessa Dare. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's so prevalent. Let's see what other things. Well, the book that I am going to suggest for December is a Tilly Tennant, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like she's going to be one that I'll probably like because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I would appreciate more of the women's fiction that is like it has a romance element, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
like the full that like the biggest part of it. Um, and then I read Bookshop on the Corner by Jenny Colgan.
Colgan, yeah.
Yeah, and I liked it. I mean it, the romance was very minimal and kind of weird in it.
Is that the one where, because she has two or three that are about bookshops, is that the one where the woman has a son and she goes and is like a governess nanny
No,
to, no, okay.
no,
See, I read that one and
this
that was very little romance. It,
oh,
it barely had any.
okay, and this one didn't really either. So maybe she's not like romance. She might just be more women's fiction because a bookshop on the corner was about a woman in London who lost her job at a publisher or something,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and she goes to Scotland, I believe, and buys like a van so to have like a mobile book.
Oh, okay. So I
Yeah.
think the book you read is probably like the first part to the book I read.
Okay.
Because in the book that I read, a woman from England,
Hmm.
from London, has a child,
Okay.
and the guy she had the kid with is really irresponsible. So she gets a job as a nanny to
Okay.
this one guy and his three kids. And she ends up working for a lady who has a mobile
Yeah.
bookstore. She has a van, and so she runs it for a while.
Hmm.
So yeah, that one,
I didn't
yeah.
know there were like companions to that. So that'd be interesting. I'd like to. I think that I liked it, but I think I was expecting it to be a romance.
Mm-hmm.
So just because the expectation was different than I realized,
Yeah,
I think and I didn't like the romance was not satisfying.
yeah. No, and see, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say for the book that I read, I thought there was going to be a lot more romance, but I ended up actually liking it a lot because it was more kind of domestic. It was one of those kind of domestic fiction books. It was very, there was a lot of domesticity with the woman being the nanny, and I really enjoyed that part.
Yeah.
So I ended up liking the book I read a lot more, despite it not having much romance.
Mhm. Yeah. I feel I feel the same. Like now that I know what it is, I enjoyed the parts of that book that were not romantic. That were
Mm-hmm.
just about her and her like kind of finding her place and getting the bookshop up and running and the people in the town. If she had just kind of stuck with that,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been a lot better and like
Yeah.
almost like nixed the romance altogether.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's really what she could have done with this book that I
Yeah.
read, because like I said, there was a small amount of romance, but it
Mhm.
was so minor that it really almost didn't even warrant a part in the book. It was so
Okay.
tiny.
Mhm.
Um, Now the one who I want to continue reading in 2021, the author I want to continue reading is Jamie Admins. She's
Okay.
I don't think she's an is she an independently published author? I'm not sure if she is. No, I don't think she is. I think her publisher is HQ something, but she writes really good romance. Like if you want romance without any sex, you don't
Okay.
want any smut, that's perfect.
Okay.
And her characters are so real, so wonderful, just beautiful characters. Like I've read 2 of her books,
Uh-oh.
and
Angie froze.
am I frozen? Am I still frozen? See, Rainy, it looks like you're frozen on my end, but I don't know if I'm frozen on your end. Am I frozen or is Rainy frozen? Because I can't tell. It looks like Rainy's frozen.
Oh, are we back?
Rainy, are you there?
Okay, I think we're back.
Okay. Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, you looked frozen on my end, and then I heard you say I was frozen on your end, so I have no idea.
Yeah, we both like
We both froze. Oh, see, now you're frozen on my end.
with our oh, we're back. What's happening? Oh no.
It may be the storm moving through your area, Rainy. Maybe.
I hope not. Okay. Christy says I'm back. So I'm sure you're back too. But at least everybody's still with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but Jamie Admins, highly recommend her book. And I want to read. I want us to try reading some Sherry Thomas. She's a lot more explicit,
Okay.
but I've liked everything of hers I have read.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
romance, so much romance. Love it. Yeah.
Boy, I'm gonna need lots of wine for that, huh?
Yeah.
I don't need much of an excuse, let's be honest. But
So you already announced the book we're going to read in. No, you haven't announced the title yet, right?
no,
What's the title?
Here, let me find it. See if it's still up there. Oh, it is. Okay. Whoop, there we go. The Christmas Wish by Tilly Tennant. And I think it's more I heard about it on Sarah from the Bookish Knitter. She read it and loved it. And I think it is considered more women's fiction because it seems like it's a woman that she gets broken up with basically. And I think maybe she moves in with her grandmother and it's more kind of about their relationship. But there's definitely a romance involved.
Mhm.
So, and of course, and it takes place in Lapland,
Oh, wow.
which I'm very excited because I don't know if you watch Petra from Petra U. She is Finnish and she goes to Lapland all the time because her parents have a cottage there and it always looks so lovely because it's always snowing, it seems like.
Yeah.
In Lapland.
That's cool. I have never read a book set that far
Yeah.
north.
Well, and I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the character in it is English, but they go to Lapland,
Hmm.
or if they're all Norwegian. If that's Scandinavian. Is that? I don't know what the regional. Uh,
Scandinavian?
yeah, I think it would be Scandinavian, right?
I think so.
I don't know, but yeah, Janet. Yeah, Lapland. That was what sold it on me. I was like, yes, Lapland, yay!
Yeah, well, I
And
was telling you during our little pre-show that
uh
I started reading her book, Rome is Where the Heart Is, for the Summer Fling,
oh
hosted
yes,
by Sarah,
mhm,
and I never finished it. So it's one of the books that I want to try to finish in December.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So
yeah, that'll be
that one was set in Rome, obviously.
yes.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that might be one of my new favorite things.
Books set in different locations.
Oh,
Ooh,
Angie's frozen again.
and you're frozen on my end, Rainy. I don't know what's going on. Is Rainy's gone on my end. I don't know if she's gone on anybody else's end. Can you all still see me? Can you see Rainy? I'm not sure if I should end my side of the call and then try again.
Okay.
There she is. Hey, Rainy.
There we are. What is happening?
Oh, okay. Yeah, people were saying Rainy's gone. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Am I still live? Dead air. I don't know what to do.
Were you still on? Did everybody?
Yeah, apparently I was still on. Yeah. So I think if that happens again, we'll just
continue on, and then
yeah.
Or you can continue on, and I'll just check what I.
Yeah, you just hop back on when you can. I'm surprised it's not my Wi-Fi and acting up this time. It's always mine.
Well, I feel like it's because of the weather. It doesn't look like I can see a window, and it doesn't seem like it's that bad. But maybe just I don't know. I'm not sure where the weather stuff, where the internet stuff is. Well, I don't know. We have our own like internet company in my little town.
So,
so
I
like
see.
Everybody else. So
I guess we should probably go ahead and get to the book.
Probably, since
right.
This might be a crapshoot whether.
So, The Witch of Blackbird Pond. Oh, I like your copy.
I don't know that I don't know. It was weird. I liked, like, you sent me a bunch of different thumbnails.
Different editions, yeah.
Yeah. I liked a lot of the other ones better, but
I like that one.
Yeah, I like that little image. But this is just my.
Hey, Rainy, Christy asked if you could put the title of next month's selection in the chat.
Oh, yes. Maybe. Let's see.
So while Rainy is doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get us started on The Witch of Blackbird Pond. Now, I was hoping one of my friends, her name's Teresa, she's Teresa Ye on Instagram, I was hoping she was going to be able to join us because she is an expert on all things The Witch of Blackbird Pond, but she said she might not because she's out in California. Oh. And I was really surprised when I selected this book, when I selected The Witch of Blackbird Pond for our November read, I didn't realize just how much romance was in the book. I remembered there was a small thread of romance, but as I was reading it, and Teresa pointed out to me, she did mention that Nat has many appearances in the story. And so as I was reading, I was marking where the parts where he made an appearance and the parts where there was some romance. And it's actually quite a lot. I mean, it's very, what's the word? Demure, I guess. Yeah. It's not, but it was still, there were still so many moments where you could see their feelings for each other.
Yeah. And I was like, you could see their feelings for each other, but at the same time, there were so many other guys involved that I was like, oh, this is like at first I was like, this is a love triangle. And then somebody else came into the picture and I was like, oh, it's like a love square. Like everybody loves Kit.
Yeah, that's what you thought was going to happen, right? It made it seem like everybody's going to love Kit. But John,
I love John.
Wasn't that just so sweet? That was so sweet. John and Mercy. Oh my God. Yes.
At first, whenever he was like, had no backbone with Judith, I was like, do you really want to be saddled to this lady forever?
Yes.
But then it all worked out in the end.
Yeah. I felt like, so when that part happened where Judith basically proposes or has him, or, they make
bullies him into it.
Yeah. I felt so bad for him and I thought, oh my gosh, he's such a good guy. He's going to go through with it even if it's not what he wants, even though it's not what he wants.
Yeah. but at the same time, I was like, I didn't really understand his reasoning because I thought like frozen again.
Oh, Rainy, you're frozen on my end. Yeah, to me, it just felt like I felt like he thought it was his duty to, as a man, since that's what Judith expected from him, and it's just what he expected people were going to uh, want from him. I guess I don't know. I saw it more as him doing not right by her because he didn't do anything necessarily to deserve Judith, but I thought it was more he was behaving in an upright, manly way, maybe. That's kind of how I interpreted that. Oh, the author that I mentioned, Janie, it's Jamie Admins. Let me see if I can write it here. Jamie
Back.
Admins. Hey, Rainey.
I'm trying to figure out if I can do this on my phone with my data, but we'll see. I trust that you carried on the conversation, though.
I tried.
Okay.
I didn't do that great a job because I felt awkward. What am I saying? So I was saying I felt like John Holbrook felt more it was his duty. You know,
Yeah.
like he was acting in an upright, like manly
Hmm.
way. Even
Yeah.
though he didn't want it.
Right. Yeah. I guess you gotta have to look at it that way, but like to my modern sensibility, I'm just like just like tell the guy like no, I was actually asking for mercy.
Right.
Like
Yeah, and I completely see that because he didn't stand up for his beliefs with uh the the clergy,
uh
the clergyman Gershom Berkeley. I mean, he didn't stand up for what he believed then. So I mean, you could see it as a trend. It's his character flaw.
yeah. That's yeah, I guess that's why I kind of thought that way because I was like, man, why are you being so weak? But then I guess his trials later on in the book kind of probably showed him like I can't be weak anymore. I have to like go for what I want because life is short.
Yeah, and what a scene when he comes back and he goes straight and lays his head on Mercy's lap. It's like she was probably the thing that sustained him during
Yeah,
his capture, you know,
yeah, yeah.
thinking of her.
I have to say, even my cold, bitter single lady heart was like, "Aw." I actually like their love story more than I like Kit and Nat.
I really like John and Holbrook, but I do love Nat and Kit. And
Yeah,
yeah, Berna says he was trying to be decent. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I think that's what it was. He was a decent guy. And then
hmm
what about William and Judith? You just knew they were meant for each other.
yeah, exactly. I was kind of at the beginning when it all first started, and you knew. And well, I guess because she just assumed that he liked Kit, which I guess he kind of did at first. But it was kind of like, well, you both want the same things. Why aren't you going for him? Like,
Right.
instead of,
Well, I think for William it was novelty, don't you think? He sees her. I mean, especially the way they described her, the way she looked like a tropical bird of paradise in a strange shore.
Mhm.
And I'm sure William seeing her that first day at meeting, I mean, you couldn't help but notice her and with her beautiful dress compared to all the Puritan women,
Yeah,
he had to.
right. Well, yeah. I mean, she definitely would have been like a beacon in the midst
Right.
of all
Yeah.
these gray clad women that just didn't believe in any fun. I like it's weird. I haven't read a Puritan era book in a long time, and I realized I'm like, man, I really enjoy reading about these these people and like why they thought the way they thought.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I
Yeah.
mean, it was a good YA, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at first I was well because it was was it a Newbery Award
I
winner?
think so.
So I thought
Yes.
middle grade, which I guess it kind of could be because there was some,
Middle grade, yeah.
yeah, um, like I would let a middle grade reader read it,
Oh
like
yeah, definitely.
even though the characters were older, but I think you could definitely say it was YA too. Because at first, for the longest time, because there wasn't really any love in it,
Hmm.
okay, this is definitely middle grade. Like what are, and I'm thinking like, oh geez, what are we going to talk about love wise? And then it all kind of came out, and it all like at the end, like everybody started falling in love with everybody else. And I was like, oh, okay. It was so nice.
Yeah, and like I said, and even with Nat, and so Bernice said she preferred the romance between John and Mercy as well. You
Yeah.
did too, you said, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Just,
See,
just
I love Nat and Kit so much that
mhm.
and they're still my favorite. As much, I mean, one of my favorite scenes in the book is when John is reading that poem, and and Kit happens to look up and she realizes Mercy's feelings for John. Like that is my one of my all time favorite
Yeah.
parts scenes in the book. But I still love Nat and Kit just so much, and then just their interactions, and like I said earlier, where you can just tell, you could see their budding romance just growing and growing. And then of course, I mean, I had to cry. I just cried at the end where she's thinking about about being on a ship back to Barbados, and she realizes like that dream just didn't feel the same. There was something missing, or
Mhm.
something that it just didn't feel the same as it had felt when she'd think a bit about it earlier in the story. And then she realizes um, it wasn't the idea of going to Barbados. It was the idea of the one she loved being beside her. Of
Mhm.
course, that being Nat. It's like, oh my gosh, that is
Yeah.
just so beautiful. That is gorgeous.
Oh, I agree. And
Oh,
like their interactions seemed, I guess, more normal. I
uh
guess
huh.
not normal, but like they weren't.
It seemed carefree.
Yeah, right. Because they didn't feel like they weren't Puritans. You know,
Right,
they didn't like really subscribe to what the rest of the world thought. So they just seemed like more natural humans.
right.
Whereas everybody else was trying to fall in love according to convention. Um, and
Or
just
their courtship was it was a courtship,
right, yeah.
right? Where
Mm,
even though William was courting Kit and John was mistakenly courting Judith, it was
mhm,
still it was a courtship where you knew that was the end. It was going to end with a marriage.
right.
Whereas with Kit and Nat, there was no courtship. It
Hmm.
was just friendship.
Right.
And so they had, it was very, it seemed very, in a way, it seemed immature. I don't want to say immature, that's not the right word, but it felt immature compared to the other ones because they were just, joking and carefree and there were no expectations. But you
Right.
could still see their friendship grow
Hmm.
until, you know, we got to the end. And
Yeah. And they had their mutual friend in Hannah, and
right,
someone that like kind of it was kind of like a sneaking around type of a trope because they both knew that they weren't supposed to be friends with her, but like Nat really didn't care, and I guess neither did Kit, but she was a little bit more aware of how this could look on her family and stuff, but like Nat didn't really have that thing holding him back from because he could just go back on the dolphin and who cares. Um, but yeah, like oh,
so do you think, so were you saying that you don't know if Nat cared for her at the beginning?
well,
Or
no, I mean I think it definitely feels like it evolved over time.
yeah.
like I feel at the beginning like he liked her and he liked that she was on the ship and that it was like a banter thing. Like
Yeah,
they had a friendship.
definitely.
Yeah, but I think once he saw that she would be friends with Hannah despite what it could do to her family. Um,
Oh,
and then once she saw, or he knew that she had like been accused of the witchcraft just because of being friends with her and how
yeah.
she conducted herself. He really knew like she was a loyal individual, and that just built up her character to him, which I think
Okay.
you know
Yeah. No,
because
I think definitely. I'm sure he saw how she grew because
mhm.
she was quite immature at the beginning of the story,
Oh
where
yes.
she even didn't want to follow the rules, or like when Uncle Matthew told her, you
Mhm.
have to conform to us, and she's rebelling, and even though she didn't 100% conform to the Puritan way of life, I think I think her respect for Matthew especially grew, and so she tried behaving in a way that wouldn't um, bring shame to him. Although, of course, I mean, she still went to see Hannah, but that was more out of, I think, charity, not charity because she liked Hannah, but it
Yeah.
was more, her. Um,
Like concern
uh,
for her.
right, yeah, yeah. And yeah, so now I think definitely saw her grow.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and there was definitely like we didn't see as much. I mean, we saw Nate or Nat, but he didn't grow. He was who he was.
Right, yeah.
But just so you know, my lights are flickering, so I may lose you again. And it's looking pretty grim outside.
Oh,
So,
well, we can cut this short before the storm rolls.
okay. Well, I actually
rolls in.
pulled it up on my phone with my data, so I may, if I lose you, I may be able to pull it up on my phone. So we can
Okay,
keep going until, and I'll try. I'll see if it works. So, but if we get cut short, that's that's why.
yeah, okay.
But
So
yes,
did you?
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to comment on Berna. She said that Prudence and Hannah were wonderful characters. Yeah, I really liked the addition of Prudence and what she did in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And that she really stepped up and showed her maturity. And sorry, I was looking out my window because it just really started to like,
Yeah, I can hear it.
yeah, there's a lot of wind right now. So if I have a jump scare because there's a there hasn't been any thunder yet, but let's see what else did Berta say? I'm trying, Christy. Let's see. Yeah, Kit's character development was really was really well done. I thought because it didn't feel forced
Yeah.
either.
Oh
Like
yeah, definitely not.
yeah, it didn't feel like okay, we need to hit this point. Now she needs to do this and this. It was definitely just kind of like a natural progression.
Yeah,
So,
Brenda says she liked that she was not perfect. Yeah, I did too. I really liked it. I liked how she didn't go from imperfect to perfect.
mhm. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, but I felt like all of the characters, it was nice because they all had flaws. Like
Mm-hmm.
you didn't have, because I feel like it's easy for a Puritan book to be like, this person was the angel. And they were always good and wonderful and a good Christian, and then
Yeah, no, definitely all of the characters were flawed, and
yeah,
it was
I mean, I guess Mercy wasn't
that's true.
really, she didn't, but she wasn't really. I don't feel like they really portrayed her as like an angel. She, she was just kind of like,
She was very kind.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
guess maybe that she could have been like the angel character because she didn't really have any like. Well, the one thing that, well, yeah, I guess this could be considered a angel kind of thing is Kit noticed that that she would never like give up what she wanted for or in
For
opposed to Judith.
yeah,
So like when she thought that John and Judith were going to get married, she was just going to lay
she
down
just
and
stepped aside. Yeah.
yeah. And so I mean, we would see that as a flaw because we would say fight for what you want, but then at the same time, like in that day and age, she probably kind of felt like because of her disability,
Right. Yeah.
she couldn't have that anyway. So, but really, I liked her character anyway, even if she was the angel character.
Yeah, I like them all, and I hadn't I think I saw on Goodreads that I read this last year in November, which I do not remember reading it at all in November. But so um about I'd forgotten how she was received by her Aunt Rachel. At
Mhm.
that point, I thought her Aunt Rachel was going to be like an evil woman,
I
and
did,
so I was really surprised. I thought, oh, I thought for some reason I thought Rachel was like mistreated her, but no, she Rachel was a really nice
yeah. When at
nice.
first, at the beginning of the book, when she was talking on the ship about how her mother had always told her that Rachel was this fun-loving character, and but yet she married a guy that was a Puritan, but she didn't know what that was, and moved to America without her father's permission. I thought, oh gosh,
Mhm.
she's gonna have turned into this like straight-laced, you know, like whatever my husband says kind of a thing, which I guess she kind of was. She didn't want
Yeah.
to, like, she didn't want to subvert her husband, which I get, but she definitely had sympathy and knew that, not that I never felt like she picked the wrong guy. She
No, she
definitely loved him, and that was clear, which I also thought was well done. Um,
well, especially when in that moment where Kit is watching her Uncle Matthew, he
mhm,
doesn't realize he's being watched,
mhm,
and she sees some of that sort of like that quiet strength,
yeah,
and she even says like she understood now what it was that would have drawn her Aunt Rachel to
mhm,
him. Like
right.
I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I thought that this book showed a really good marriage relationship because even though it's like maybe not what we as modern
Mm-hmm.
people would see, like it showed that like there's definitely change in a relationship and there's definitely change in a marriage, but and people might turn into somebody that, but it's based on like maybe hardships or things that they,
Right.
so it's not necessarily that the person changed. It's just that they don't know how to deal with their situations. And, that you kind of have to work together, even if, in like this case, the woman is submissive to her husband. It felt like she still tried to, like, work with him, kind of a,
Mm-hmm.
she just didn't like take his orders and never say anything.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it was to their way of life that there, like you said, the hardships.
Yeah.
Just when Kit talked about the chores that they had to do, the
Hmm.
making of the soap and
Yeah.
uh, the scouring of the pans. I mean, all of that when you do that day after day, it's going to
Hmm.
take a toll on you physically. You know,
Yeah.
the way you look, the way you feel. So yeah, she was definitely Aunt Rachel had definitely probably aged. Uh, she probably looked older than she was. Not
Yeah.
necessarily because she had a hard life because of Matthew, but because of the hard way of life of a Puritan or, of that
Right.
time period.
Right. And I mean, before getting married, she would have probably been like in her teens and living a very privileged life. So she probably had really no idea what she was getting into,
Right.
and maybe Matthew didn't either because it kind of seemed like, even though he was a Puritan and believed the ideals of the Puritans in practice and his leaders, he did not agree with, because even
Hmm.
like when Pitt was arrested, he was like, "What are you talking about?" You know, she,
Yeah, he definitely seemed like a lot more level-headed
yeah,
guy when they came to get him so that they could go after Hannah. I
mhm,
mean, he was very adamant. No, she's not a witch. I'm not going to get involved in this. So he was reasonable. He was level-headed. He wasn't, into that witch craze the way
yeah,
the rest of the
mhm.
townspeople
Yeah, but at the same time,
were.
he was necessarily strong enough to,
No, yeah,
so that again, just with the flawed characters, like he would uh, stick up for her, but only for so long. When he couldn't come up with a ready answer
right.
for,
Well, and I think that's because he didn't have an excuse. Like, when they accused Kit of witchcraft, and they said, "Is this your horn book?" And Uncle Matthew goes, "Yeah, well, you lost it. Did you lose it?" And she says, "No, I took it there myself." He's like,
yeah.
"Well, I can't defend you
Because
at this point. You need to give me something to work with." That's kind of
yeah,
how I felt he was
right.
probably feeling. And then when there was something else that happened, and he tries defending her, and she's like, "Well, no, actually, this is the way it happened." And he's just, "Okay, well then take her away, I guess," because there's
Yeah, I don't know what else to
there's
say.
yeah, isn't that kind of how it felt? Like he wanted to defend her. He was
Mm,
trying to help her out, but she had been disobedient, and she did do the things, I mean, not witchcraft, but she did some of the things that she was accused of. And so he's like, "Well, I can't help you there."
yeah, good luck. I told you
Yeah.
what the consequences would be, and you still did it. So you're on your own. Which I feel like, not that I'm a parent, but I feel like that is probably a parenting thing that a lot of people deal with. Is like, I want to help you, but you got to give me something to work with.
Yeah.
If you're just going to admit to what you did, I can't do anything about it.
Berna says she did not know about the Puritan life. And so
Mm,
she found that really interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's very interesting.
I feel like that is sort of something that a lot of American high schoolers learn about just by reading The Crucible. And because I feel like almost all of us have to read The Crucible in English class. And that puts us into the Salem witch trials and the Puritanism. We, like, at least for me, that's how
Uh
I
huh.
learned about it.
I did not read The Crucible in high school, but we did learn at the time about Thanksgiving,
Oh, yes.
um, and the. But how did I learn about the Puritans? I don't know if I learned about it in high school. I think it might have been just what I read on my own,
Okay. Okay.
especially in connection with the Salem witch trials,
Hmm.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of just assumed that that was something that I don't that every high schooler had to read was the Crucible, but that's it's one of those. Well, maybe too because it's a play. So maybe I read it in. I don't know. I feel like I just read it in regular English class, but maybe I read it in like a drama class or
Yeah,
something.
did you take a drama class in high school?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I was involved in theater. I don't think we ever did the Crucible, but I think we definitely read the play version, and I think I saw there's adaptations of the
yeah.
Crucible. They're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, and it was traumatizing.
Traumatizing?
Yeah, there's one scene of the Crucible that I still like every once in a while when I think about it, I'm like, ugh, that was disgusting.
I've never read The Crucible. I don't think I've even watched the movie, the
Mm.
latest, what was it? Was that in the 90s, 2000s? The movie adaptation.
Oh, maybe I forget. I watched a movie adaptation, but that would have been in high school, so it would have been the 90s. So I don't know if there's been a more recent one, which I think there has been. I think you're
Has
right.
there?
Yeah, but I can't. No, it's there's just scenes in it that I'm like, nope, nope, nope. I can't read about the torture.
Oh no. Yeah, see, I'm thinking of the movie, if I'm correct, it may be the wrong movie. I'm thinking of one with Demi Moore.
Okay.
Was that The Crucible where she plays a Puritan? And I don't know who the guy was. I'm kind of thinking in my head I have, what's his name? Uh,
Can't even remember.
Not John Malkovich.
Oh, um,
I don't know who I'm thinking of as the lead. But I just had like this scene where I think it was kind of like a rated R scene from
oh,
The Crucible, but maybe not. Maybe I'm
well,
confusing it with something else.
it's possible because they would have just fast forwarded that. And I
Right.
so, but yeah, I can't. Honestly, I've seen The Crucible, obviously, and I've read it, but I cannot remember like specifics about it.
Uh-huh.
Just like that one scene that I'm thinking of, and like that I just thought about the other day after I finished reading this. It's like, oh, I'm glad they didn't go into that kind of thing. Like the water test.
Oh yeah.
They do that in the sequel, I think, and like totally weird things that like nobody would be able to survive.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like we're gonna hold your hand over this fire. If it
Yeah,
doesn't blister,
right.
you're not a witch.
Yeah. The one scene that I'm thinking of is like they piled a bunch of rocks onto this guy and basically suffocated him.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what it was
Yeah. And
for.
that was the way one of the Salem witch trial
Hmm.
victims died.
Right.
It was the male. He
Yeah.
was crushed to death basically. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, and they have that scene in the movie version. I'm like, oh gosh.
Uh,
Yeah.
Berna says she wants to learn more about the subject. Have you read The Scarlet Letter, Berna, by
Oh, that's it.
Nathaniel Hawthorne?
Hmm.
I read that one for the first time probably 3 years ago. I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it is good. I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't like it, and Nathaniel Hawthorne's that's who wrote it, right?
Yeah, Nathaniel
I,
Hawthorne.
I had a quick like, uh-oh, is that right? um, like his writing style is difficult sometimes, but yeah, but I really enjoy that subject matter. It's definitely an interesting period in history.
Yes. I have a book somewhere back there. Somewhere back there called The Witches, I think, which is about the Salem witch trials. I need to get to that one soon.
Hmm. I think Sarah at the Bookish Knitter is reading that, or did read that this. I'll have to,
I think so. I
yeah,
think
I think it was the
somebody
one.
read that.
Yeah, I'll have to ask her. I can't remember if that is actually the one that she read, or if it was just one that was like similarly titled.
Hmm.
But yeah, definitely Berna, The Crucible, The Scarlet Letter. Those are good fiction ones to learn. At least give yourself a crash course in it.
Oh, this is interesting. Is it Christy who said that? Christy says, "In my public school years, the Puritans were always hypocrites. In my private Christian school years, they were admirable." Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on whose whose version of history you're
Right.
reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much across the board, most people would think that the Puritans were too extreme. Like, I feel like at this point in time, most people would agree to that, whether you're Christian or not. Like, definitely the non Christians would probably think, holy cow, but, Christians might think that, okay, they had maybe the right idea, but they
Uh-huh.
went too far. So I feel like pretty much across the board, every American at this point is like, yeah, that was a lot.
Too extreme.
Yeah. but but yeah, I can definitely see there's well, like, and I always say too, I went to a Christian college, and it was funny because in high school I was considered well, and like when I wasn't at school and just in my normal life, I was considered really super conservative. But when I would go to school, I was considered like really liberal, and people thought my parents were hippies because they never, like, smacked me. Like that. Like I had a couple of friends being like, "Were your parents hippies?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, they grew up in the '70s, so probably kinda, but not by
You
the
needed
time."
to be smacked.
Yeah, it's like because they would say, "Were you ever grounded?" And I was like, "Well, I was a good kid, so not really." Like,
Hmm.
I think I maybe got spanked once in my life, but I was a pretty good kid. But they were all like, they all thought I was super liberal, and I'm like, not really. Oh man. Let's see. To read. Oh, an inspector calls. Oh, where did that come in to play? Is that during Puritan
I'm gonna
times?
reach for a couple of books back here.
Okay. I'm reading comments. There might be dead air for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I have a couple of books that I just wanted to mention quickly because I saw a couple of comments. So, Kate, you mentioned something about Puritan prayers. You have a book of Puritan prayers. I have this book, The Valley of Vision, a collection of Puritan prayers and devotions. It's really beautiful. I have not read the entire thing. I read some once in a while. It's beautiful prayers.
Hmm.
And then I also have this one. This is the book that I was talking about earlier, The Witches.
Oh yeah.
Suspicion, Betrayal, and Hysteria in 1692 Salem by Stacy Schiff. Have not read this,
Okay.
but
I'll
I
ask
need to.
her if that's the one. Stacy Schiff. To see if that was the one she's reading or not. I am actually looking for a devotional for next year, so I might have to look into. I don't know if the Puritans did devotional kind of things, but
Yeah, this one
that
is just beautiful prayers. Like if you
okay,
just want something that is going to be uplifting and challenging, beautiful.
okay,
Love it.
okay. I'll have to look into that. I also saw this is completely different, but there's a Jane Austen devotional. I feel like I need that in my life. I don't know if
When
that would really be devotionals or not, but hey, whatever. I'll try it.
yeah,
What were you?
I want to buy one set in Scotland.
Ooh,
Yeah, a devotional. The author is Liz Curtis Higgs. She's the one who wrote a couple of she writes Christian fiction and
okay.
she wrote a couple of books set in Scotland based on the stories of, and I know I'm going to butcher it, Rachel and Leah,
Oh yeah,
I
okay,
think. And she went to Scotland and did a lot of research to write these books.
okay.
Um, and then I think she wrote a devotional set in Scotland that I want.
Yeah. Hmm.
I think it's out of print though. So
Okay.
yeah, anything that gets you.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just been kind of looking for something to kind of get me going every day, and 'cause I don't really have anything like that right now, and yeah, I feel like I need something to like consistently to do.
Yeah, the one he doesn't have a devotional, but I want to read his book. I have it on my shelves back there somewhere. It's A.W. Tozer.
Oh yeah.
Um, is it The Pursuit of God? I think that
Okay.
one. I need to get to that one. I've had that on my shelves for years. I've
Okay.
started it several times and um,
Yeah, I've
have
heard.
never completed it.
Hmm. There's also a year with C.S. Lewis that I think that's what it's called. That I was going to look into, but oh yes, Amanda says I need anything by Jane Austen. Yes, I don't think it's. Oh no, you said anything Jane Austen. Okay, I was going to say I don't think it's by Jane Austen, um, but yeah, I would. Oh yeah, she reads truth. Yes, that is. I have actually done. I had their app at one point. I think I got rid of it only because my phone filled up and I needed to get rid of some things. But oh yeah, and or Angie, Kate says the pursuit of God is amazing. So okay,
Yeah, what little I've read of it is just, I mean,
this
I've
is
needed to read.
this has turned into a completely different live stream.
I know it has. Bitter single ladies talk about theology.
Yeah, that could be a whole new subset of what we talk about. We could read romance and then talk about God. That's a whole can of worms we might not want to get into. Oh man, it's funny. I'm definitely gonna look into that Puritan prayers there. That sounds okay. That's a good idea. Just do the website. I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm like such a I'm into like such the app mindset that everything has to have an app. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you could just go to the website. Because sometimes I can't, like, I film things on my phone and I'll go to upload a video. This happened to me a couple weeks ago with my vlog, and I could not get it to like save to my phone after I got it all edited and everything. I was so mad. I had to like delete all this stuff. I was like, if you didn't have as many apps on your phone, this probably wouldn't
Yeah.
happen.
I actually want to buy a new phone because I've run out of space and
Mhm.
I've deleted as much as I can delete
Yep.
and like I still don't have any space left, so I need a new phone.
Yeah, I probably do too. Mine's like, I don't know. It's an iPhone, but it's like a five something. It's and they're on like 14.
Yeah, I know, and I can't keep up with the size. Like sometimes my coworkers, the ones who are always update, like sometimes they have small phones, and I'm like, oh, my phone is so huge. I feel so old. And then sometimes they have these huge phones. Like, oh, I feel so technologically, uh, you know,
Yeah,
disadvantaged because my phone is tiny now. It's like,
I
what
know.
is it? Is it a big phone now or is it a little phone?
Yeah, what am I supposed to have?
Yeah, I want to be trendy. Tell me, what size should my phone be?
But what trendy comes with a price, and I don't usually want to spend that money. Like I keep getting these ads for the iPhone 14 or whatever, and it'll give you the price breakdown. I'm like, holy cow! No. Oh, let's see. Oh yes, Persuasion. I just did my Jane Austen July this year was Persuasion themed, and it has become one of my favorites now. I Before I probably couldn't tell you what it was really about, who the key characters were, and now I'm like, I love it. It's so great.
You read Persuasion this year,
Yeah.
Rainey? Is that what you said? I read
Yeah.
Persuasion for the first time this year too.
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I,
liked it a lot more than I like Emma.
oh, I still
You
like
know
Emma.
me and Emma.
Yeah, I do. I still like Emma, but I think it's just because I find it hilarious. Like,
See, I need to change. I'm too serious sometimes, and when people rub me the wrong way, it's like you're on my bad side. There's nothing you can do to get on my good side.
yeah. Well, that's like when you were saying how Diana in The Alchemist's Daughter annoyed you,
Yeah,
and everybody was like, "Oh no, it's so good! Oh,
I
Diana."
know. Everybody was saying, "Oh, Diana's my favorite. I love Diana. She made me laugh," and I'm like, "No, I hate her. Awful person." Then I
She
felt really
did.
bad.
Yeah. She.
What's that?
Well, oh, you haven't finished it yet, so I'm not
No,
gonna.
not yet.
Yeah. I started to say something, and I was like, "Nope, I'm not gonna do
Oh,
it."
yeah, no, I haven't finished it. Yeah, then I felt bad because I felt like maybe I had offended people with my.
Oh, everybody has to have. I mean, like, you're not gonna like every character in every book. There's what, at least five women in that book. So somebody, you're not gonna like somebody in that
I
book.
really like the rest of the ladies. I really
Yeah,
like the rest of the ladies.
yeah, I did too. It was a pretty good. I feel like she's just thrown in there for like a little bit of conflict.
Yeah,
Among,
and then I mean, I did have to realize she was only 14,
yeah, yeah,
so that kind of
lived in the
changed
north.
my perspective a little.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Berna. I feel like as booktubers, we have way more space memory problems on our iPads than probably the average the average person. I have to delete every video like right after I upload it, or else if I forget, then I have that problem every time.
Janie said that she just purchased a copy of Intimate Conversations with the Divine, a
Mm,
book of prayers and readings. It was just published.
okay.
I'll need to look into that one.
Yeah. My I have a friend who she sent me a devotional that she worked on, like she works for her church. And it's a bunch of stories that people from her church and I think her denomination um, sent in, and she kind of worked on putting it together and publishing it. So I started reading it. I think this was a couple years ago now, and it is like a daily devotion thing. So I might have to pull that out too and read it more.
Yeah, I just need to choose one and stick with it
Yeah.
for the year. That's my issue is like I do really well the first month of the year, and
Hmm.
then afterwards things get really busy and I just stop. What no matter what
Right.
devotional I'm using, I just stop by February.
Yeah. I have issues because everybody says to do it like in the morning when you first wake up. But like I like to I like to have time in the morning before work, but I don't have that much time that I can like do like a half an hour of devotion,
Mhm.
then get ready for work. Like I have my wake up time and my times to do things that like gets me ready to go in the amount of time.
Right.
So, so it always has to end up being at night. So that if I get into something else at night, then I don't do it, and then I feel bad.
Yeah, I'm the same.
No, but oh well. I guess as long as the intention is there. So, well, anyway, do we have anything else that we want to say about the book instead of our devotional
I think that's it probably.
time? So next month, we haven't picked a time or date yet, but check out both of our Instagram accounts, and we'll have our announcements of the time and everything. I mean, with December, it might be we'll have to come up with a time during the Christmas season when we can do this, but I'm sure we can figure it out. So,
Yeah.
but we'll be
I'll
reading
have
Christmas
yeah.
Wish by Tilly Tennant.
Mhm.
So, which I looked, and I don't know if I think it said it was in a 2018 book. So my libraries didn't have it, but I found it for like $2 on Kindle on Amazon. So I don't know why. I mean, I'm a small town person, so that might be why my library didn't have it. But so hopefully people
Mhm.
will be able to find it. But
Yeah.
so yeah, that's all I have to say. The
Yeah, I
announcement.
think that's it.
Oh. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us and dealing with our technical difficulties. Of course, now that we're done, it seems like the storm has moved on. but thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next month. Bye.
Bye guys.
Yeah.
Bye Rainy.
Bye.